This presentation is on kinesics, the study of body position and motion, and how it relates to communication, especially nonverbal communication. Messages are received not only by the words we speak, but also by the nonverbal cues we transmit to other people. We do this in many ways, but in terms of kinesics, we do this by the orientation of our body, our posture, gestures we use, and the expressions of our eyes and face. Body orientation is the degree to which you either face toward or away from another person. Body orientation shows the other person whether you are interested in the conversation or not. If you are interested, you face the person, and if you would rather not participate in the conversation, you would face away from the person. This may not be a conscious effort, but it is one way to convey your interest. Posture is another way to show your feelings. Like body orientation, posture is often a subconscious thought. However, unlike body orientation, posture is often subtle and harder to see. A student who is bored in class will not slouch enough to embarrass the teacher, but in a subtle way he will show his boredom by sitting back in his chair. Posture can tell you whether a person is feeling nervous or scared. In frightening situations, people tend to subconsciously tighten their muscles. For example, when talking to an employer, some people may tense and sit straight up, while the employer, who would tend to be more at ease, would have more loose muscles and sit in a more relaxed manner. Posture is important in conveying messages to the people around us. Another way we do this is by gestures we use. One form of gestures is illustrators, movements that accompany speech and that can't be understood alone. An example of this would be when giving directions. You would use both words and pointing to convey your meaning. If you took the words away, it is unlikely that the person would get to their destination with pointing alone. Another type of gesture is emblems, which are deliberate nonverbal behaviors that have a very precise meaning in a given culture. An example of this would be nodding your head to mean yes. Yet another form of gestures is adapters, which are subconscious movements where one body part touches another, such as when fidgeting with your fingers in a stressful situation. Adapters are in fact most common when the person is stressed or uncomfortable. However, sometimes adapters occur when the person is completely relaxed, such as when with a close friend a girl may twist her hair. Gestures can also regulate verbal communication, and such gestures are known fittingly as regulators. An example of this would be raising your eyebrows to signal that it is the other person's turn to speak. Finally, affect displays are gestures or a combination of gestures which convey emotions. When multiple emotions are shown at the same time, it is called an affect blend. Affect displays are generally shown through the eyes. The eyes are an important part of nonverbal communication, and along with the face is the final topic of this presentation. Although the eyes and face are the most easily seen signals in communication, they are not the easiest to understand. Some people attempt to hide their emotions by controlling their facial expressions, but by understanding how they do this, you can more easily determine a person's true feelings. First, you can look for overdone expressions. Someone who is trying to fool you may exaggerate their facial expressions to seem more convincing. For example, they would exaggerate their smile if they were trying to hide feelings of anger. Another way to see a person's true emotions is to observe them when they feel they are not being watched. At this point, they would feel more at ease and would not be attempting to hide their true emotions. The same idea is true for microexpressions, which are brief facial expressions that last for a second or less. Microexpressions are a sample of a person's true feelings before they have a chance to put their guard up and hide them. Finally, the eyes and the face can convey different meanings at the same time, which may be contradictory. We have all seen a friend who is trying to hide an upsetting situation by faking a smile, but whose eyes tell us that she is close to tears. This sends opposite messages to us and may make it harder to determine how she is feeling. The eyes can also convey thoughts themselves based on whether or not you make eye contact while speaking to someone. Making eye contact can convey a positive attitude because it shows that you are interested in the other person and interested in what they have to say. Looking away from the person would show that you are uninterested in the conversation. Eye contact can also show submissive or dominance. Those who feel submissive in a certain situation will look at the floor or at their hands and will avoid eye contact. On the other hand, intense eye contact can show a struggle for dominance. We have all been in situations where you're trying to stare down the other person, and this is an example of two people fighting for the upper hand in a conversation. All four previous body movements, body orientation, posture, gestures, and facial expressions, work together to convey a meaning to the other person. Although many of them are subconscious thoughts and hard to see or understand, by working to look for the nonverbal cues, you can better understand and better communicate with the people in your life.